Carlos Boozer will not let it happen tonight. The Cavs are leading the Raptors. If the Cavs keep winning and the Denver Nuggets lose tonight, and they are hosting Houston, the teams would be tied. And since they split the 2 games of their scintillating season series, they would share the best chance of the #1 pick in the lottery, 22.5%. But more importantly, the Cavs unveiled their new jerseys at halftime. What do you think, Craig?
I tell you what, at least next year, you know they won't have the worst uniforms in the league, although they still may have the worst record.
That's nice. That's so nice. From the Fashion Plate, we send it back to Brad and Bill.
All right, fellas. Nice update. As here, Michael Jordan wearing his familiar number 23. His team behind 75-56, but of course number 23 has become synonymous with Jordan, especially with the Chicago Bulls, and all the great memories of Air Jordan in that number 23. But when he came back from the baseball experiment, was 45. Are those the only 2 numbers he ever wore? No! Somebody ripped off his jersey that night, and he had to wear number 12. Little trivia from our truck.
And now wherever you go, you see jerseys from the Bulls, from the Wizards, over the top on the out-of-bounds play. But Michael has revolutionized so much of the game.
I would imagine that jersey is going straight to the Hall of Fame once this game is over. I like the jerseys he wears off the court. Nobody dresses better than Michael Jordan.
Have you ever seen him dressed unappropriately?
It's impeccable all the time, whether it's on the golf course, getting off the bus, coming to an arena. McKee, Van Horn trying to go up for the rebound, and he does keep it alive. Let's check in with David.
Well, guys, obviously everybody wants to know what Michael Jordan's future is going to be after tonight, whether he's going to stay with the Wizards. I'm told that tomorrow Abe Pollin, the team owner, will get in contact with Michael Jordan's representatives and try to set up a meeting, maybe as early as next week, to start the process of determining what Michael wants. I'm also told that I think what Michael wants is very simple. He wants the old deal he had a couple of years ago when he was president of basketball operations, and that means complete control over the Wizards organization in terms of personnel. That process will probably begin next week. I don't think it's going to be a very long process because both the sides want to get this done as soon as possible to move on and start getting ready for the draft and the other things the Wizards need to do.
And if that did get done in a hurry, that would take the speculation about the Charlotte expansion franchise out of the picture, which has been very much talked about anyway.
But what's the rush? Let Michael Jordan do what he wants to do. He has earned that right, that privilege.
We already know what he's doing tomorrow if the weather's nice.
Sure was gorgeous today.
Yeah, it was. It was beautiful. We were here about a week and a half ago. It was snowing. Today was about 80. Buckner. Out to Van Horn. And Sixers keep it alive.
Philadelphia continues to outwork the Wizards on both boards.
They're just doing what they want right now with a 22-point lead. And Hill again. They'll get another try.
And all Doug Collins can do is look on. Disappointment, really embarrassment at this point.
Finally, the Wizards get a rebound, courtesy of Brendan Haywood.
We have another retirement as well. John Bach is stepping aside after 50 years in the NBA.
Long time.
Well, it was similar to my last game at Temple. It was very exciting, and I came out to see. I understand what all of this is about. All of the long cheers from the people. I had this my last game at
Temple. You can relate.
Yeah, when we played Gettysburg.
What has Michael meant to the NBA?
Nothing. You can see. You can see that these people would be here anyway. To watch a team so slow play against the 76ers, we have to go.
We do.
Because the referee is retiring also, and the people came out for him.
All right, well, you're taking off, but seriously, can you give me one candid thought about Michael Jordan and his importance?
Yeah, the NBA owes him, and they should put him with a team where he could not have to work so hard. He's got about 2 more years in him that any rookie coming in would be lucky to have. That's serious.
Thanks, Bill. Back to you, Brad.
Kaz, as only he can explain things.
It's all crystal clear to me now.
I know, me too. Had the opportunity for Kaz to sit down and share a Temple game that I did one time. He stayed the whole half. I had a 3-man table that day, too. Hughes on the drive on the baseline. Kwame Brown.
Unseld and MJ and the folks that we work with so hard, including the public relations staff, which, boy, they are just so helpful for us. Nicole Hawkins, Erica Smith, Nick Brown, Kristen Pfeiffer.
Yeah, I mean, they help us in so many different ways, in getting us the notes, to keeping us informed with player situations. So you're right. We've got to thank and tip our hats to them.
Of course, back in the press room, Rick and Leon and Joni. Larry Hughes, long jumper, no good. 89-68 Philadelphia with 10:07 to play here in regulation.
Well, and Iverson is just phenomenal, because once he gets by you, he closes out so that you can't get back in front of him unless you make the physical contact. Therefore, he'll get to the free throw line. He's so quick. We talked about him being strong and durable as well. Down a little bit this year in his scoring, averaging around 27 a game. That's third. But up there in minutes and in steals.
.29 points for Allen Iverson. He's 10 of 23 from the field, 7 of 8 from the line, 5 boards, 6 assists. AI had 42 last night. They lost to the Bulls, but this is a big game for Philadelphia for playoff positioning. Tommy Nunez whistles play down, calls a foul.
And Bobby Simmons is telling Kwame that he has to be strong, and when he establishes that position, can't let Kenny Thomas come through those arms and get back in front of you. That's why you're posting up.
But Sapp didn't even want to take a charge from Jahidi White, I don't think.
They booed him when they showed him on the big screen here.
Tampa and the Eagles don't get along that well. The Buccaneers and the Eagles, and the Buccaneers are the world champions and the Eagles aren't. So that's worth a boo. They open up the season, though, together.
The crowd is chanting for Michael Jordan. We want Mike. We want Mike.
I'm about ready to start. Brown made his team very aware in the last huddle about that very thing.
Leg. Know that. Hey, let's finish it out. We don't have to travel. All right? It'll be a hell of a thing. We bitched all last year about this. So we can stay home. We got Indiana, Boston or New Orleans. We can stay home. Finish it out.
Telling the troops that last year they finished 43-39 and were eliminated by Boston in the first round of the playoffs. So Coach Brown letting them know, guys, we get to stay home, sleep in our own beds. The Eastern Conference standings, that's how they look right now as Iverson steps to the free throw line for his 30th point.
New Orleans playing terrific ball at this point. The crowd chanting.
And they're getting louder. 21,250.
Here in Philadelphia, and look at that. Embracing Julius Erving, two of the greatest players of all time with each other. World be free. Moses Malone, the former Bullet. Michael briefly addressed the crowd just to say thank you. You can see the golf cart in the background that was given to him by these 76ers. So MJ will have plenty of time.
I'm sure that'll get put to good use.
He may ride that more than the motorcycle he got in Denver.
You're right.
MJ getting in a round yesterday out at one of his favorite courses, Robert Trent Jones, before the team played. And another one today at Pine Valley. And listen to the crowd. guy needs a louder shirt.
This will be interesting. How long will this go on, you think?
Well, in Washington, they stood and cheered for 2+ minutes to end the game. 6:04 to play here. Great play by Dixon. Off the glass and in, Juan Dixon. Juan has 11 points. His career high 27.
On that steal, he pulled one of Michael's moves because he came up from the blind side and stripped Skinner of that ball.
Foul called on Dixon. Last year, Philly went 43-39. They made the playoffs for the 4th straight year. Took Boston to 5 games in the first round after losing the first 2 games before succumbing to the Celtics 3 games to 2. Iverson 34 points, make it 35, 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Season high was twice this year, including last night in Chicago, 42. Loose ball foul called against Philadelphia.
The fans booed the last Wizard basket, wanting.
They only want one guy scoring a basket for the other team.
And he's sitting on the bench.
Meanwhile, Juan Dixon's lighting it up with a 3. And Juan has 14, so 3 of the best games that he's had this year in his rookie season have come against the 76ers. Backdoor cut by Iverson. Tyrone Hill got it too far in front of him.
Brian Skinner in the game for Larry Brown in Philadelphia right now as Michael Jordan enjoying some last poignant moments, and the fans will not let it go. They keep coming to their feet.
They're not even paying any attention to the game right now. They might if Iverson scores.
I don't think so. They're just watching Michael Jordan. And well, they should.
Hill with an air ball as the chance continues. That familiar Jordan smile is all we see from the Wizards bench.
He's in a very tough situation here.
Under 4 minutes, 99-79. Sixers by 20. Philadelphia's going to win its 48th ball game and appears to have home court advantage in the playoffs. Iverson pull-up jumper. I don't think my guess on Iverson's numbers are going to be too far off, Bill, but my ones on Michael Jordan are going to be askew. And Iverson with another steal.
I thought he would play the whole game.
Well, we talked about the way Michael has changed the makeup of this team. What will the makeup be like next year after he's gone? Can they re-sign Jerry Stackhouse? What free agents will stay? And who will come to Washington? What can they do in the draft as one of the lottery teams?
Well, the way I understand it with Stackhouse, his situation, he has the option actually. So if he decides to exercise that option, then they would would go from there.
College.
35 points.
Michael will rest, it appears, for the rest of the night. And the fans wanting Doug Collins, who of course played all 8 seasons here in Philadelphia, as Doug turns around and says, it's not my call. It's not my call to bring him back in. MJ doesn't want to come back in.
I want you to get out now. I want all of you to get out of your chair. I want you to get out right now.
All around the country, in every arena in all 29 cities, including Washington. We've seen Jordan jerseys from Carolina to Chicago to Washington. We've seen signs and placards and posters all thanking Michael Jordan, wishing him well. And Michael, in fact, will come back in. How do you like that?
Love to be on the inside to hear how that conversation came about to get him back into the game.
So the fans get what they want. MJ has played 27 minutes tonight, 6 of 15 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 13 points for Jordan in the final game of his brilliant career. Two and a half to play. Fans on their feet in Philadelphia. 21,257.
Another situation where I'm sure the home fans here would love to see Jordan score.
Boy, big rebound from Jahidi, and he gets the roll. Points for Jahidi, 8 rebounds in the game. 7 of the rebounds have come on the offensive end.
2 minutes left.
And Jordan is fouled, and that was obviously done on purpose. So they send MJ to the line to shoot 1 plus the penalty. And how do you concentrate now, Phil?
Well, he's been doing it not only this year in the latter part, but his whole career. He has an amazing capacity to shut out distractions.
Look at the flash cubes. We are witnessing history. Michael Jordan's final game of his career. And now Jordan will come out of the game for the final time.
Guess we can stand too, huh?
man who authored the book on the greatest NBA career of all time has written his final chapter. Emotions well up inside the head coach, Doug Collins. Thank you, Michael. You are the greatest. Kwame Brown has played a strong game tonight with 17 points and 8 rebounds. Kwame had his career high this year with 20. 3 different times against Chicago, Boston, and Milwaukee. Into the corner. Kicked out with a new 24, and Snow will set it up. Iverson finished with 35 tonight. Philadelphia will improve to 48 and 34 on the year. And the Wizards will finish with the exact same record they had last season, 37 and 45. Last year, Washington was 22 and 19 at home. This year, they were 23 and 18. And on the road, the Wizards were 15 and 26. This year, they will finish 14 and 27 on the road. Our Exo Communications trivia question tonight. MJ has worn 23 for most of his career. What other 2 numbers has he worn? We know 45 was one of them. I want to say 17 or I can't remember. It was for 1 game.
Would it be 1?
12 for the stolen uniform. So MJ did not get his team into the playoffs, but he has helped to change the face of basketball in Washington, and hopefully will continue to do so when he goes back to being the president of basketball operations. In his final game ever, Michael Jordan scores 15 points. 6 of 15 from the floor, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. In 28 minutes of play. Men who played under Dean Smith. Michael Jordan, Larry Brown, John Kuester.
That's right. But once again, I mean, we're seeing the type of respect and adoration that he has all around the league. Not only fans, but players, adversaries that come up and wish him well and just want to shake his hand.
And here he goes, Michael Jordan, surrounded by a cavalcade of cameras. Walks off the court for the final time in an NBA uniform.
Is that the game ball in his hand?
It is indeed. To the adoring crowd here in Philadelphia as well as all around the world, MJ has played his final game and MJ has left the building. Sixers win it tonight, 107-87, sweeping the 4-game series from the Wizards. We'll be back to talk about it right after this.
Loss to the Bulls. Would his career end with a Washington Wizards loss in Philadelphia?
It's been fun. I'm ready to go. I don't need the hoopla that comes along with it. And obviously with me coming in the arena, you can see all what it creates. But let's get it over with and move on.
So much hoopla, in fact, they brought in Ray Clay for the game.
North Carolina, head guard, 6'6",
longtime Bulls PA announcer on hand with his familiar call. And here we go. For the final time, Michael Jordan on an NBA floor knocking down the mid-range jump shot. That tied it at 11 early. Second quarter, Jordan. Great look to Kwame Brown. One generation to the next. Later in the second quarter. Great cut here, and Michael will finish in style. Worth another look. Why not? You don't get any more looks after this one. Jordan 9 points in the first half. We go to the third quarter where Michael suddenly got all kinds of pine time, and the Sixers take advantage. This was a big game for them. They needed it for home court in the first round. Allen Iverson behind his back to Aaron McKie. Philly up by 23. And Michael's on the bench in the fourth quarter. The fans want him in. Time to take off the warm-ups for the last time with 2:35 to play. He would be followed by Eric Snow. Here's his last NBA point. On a free throw, 28 minutes, 15 points, 6 of 15 from the floor, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a standing ovation as he exits with 1:44 to go. Allen Iverson had 35 as Philly does clinch home court in the playoff first round. Michael waves goodbye, and now, once and for all, retirement.
Now I guess it hits me that I'm not going to be in a uniform anymore. So, and that's not a terrible feeling. I'm not. I don't. It's not terrible. It's something that I've come to grips with, and it's time. It's time. And I've seen a lot of people say my first time, my second time. This is the final retirement. You don't have to worry about me putting on another uniform. But and I feel it. And I feel it. And I welcome the time away from the game. Well, you gotta give up something that you love. I mean, obviously it's an emotional situation. And I dealt with it. I came to grips with it. Before tonight. And tonight just brings back what impact you've had on people, not just in Chicago, not just in Washington D.C., but everywhere that you played. And to hear them yell and to hear them pay their respects that way, I mean, it's a chilling event, and it felt that way. And I felt proud about what I've done over the years. Don't walk away happy. I've given everything I could to the game of basketball physically. I can still contribute mentally, but I've given everything physically that I could to the game.
And here's a top 10 Jordan style. Take your pick. 10 times a first-team NBA All-Star, 6 NBA championships, 5 regular season MVP awards. He played for 4 different coaches: Stan Albeck, Kevin Lockery, Doug Collins twice, and of course Phil Jackson. 3 All-Star MVPs, 2 comebacks, and first all-time in scoring average. More on my...
David Robinson warming up for retirement. His last regular season dribble. Tim Duncan sat this one out. Robinson finished with 7 points, 9 rebounds. Can start preparing for Phoenix. Spurs defeated the Suns just once in 4 tries this season. Dirk and the Mavs glad not to be preparing for the Lakers in the first round. Instead, they'll get Portland. Minnesota is going to get the Lakers. Michael Finley looking healthy for the playoff run. Hits the triple. Dallas wins at 93-72. Both.
Well, Jordan, I mean, I can't believe it. We've covered his entire career here at ESPN. It doesn't seem that long ago that he had 63 points at the Boston Garden on the famed parquet floor before we knew he and the Bulls were going to be that great. It was earlier on, and the Celtics beat him in that playoff round, but we know what happened after that. So you can think of all the Jordan events like the game against Utah, etc., but I like to think where the legend began. The shot as a freshman for North Carolina in '82 in the championship game that brought down Georgetown. Who knew what we would see for the next 20 years? I think back to that, and you just kind of savor it. And then 20 years later, pop the cork on some very impressive fine wine, as fine as there's ever been.
Michael Jordan's legacy is not what he accomplished in Chicago, but what Washington will accomplish in the future. And that's according to Jordan, who says he'll return to the franchise's front office now that he's done dribbling. This team won 19 games the season before Jordan descended to the front, so it would be an affront to say he failed. He put the Wizards on the map, but did he teach the players on the court how to play with passion? Because that was his stated purpose. Sal Paolantonio reports MJ and the Wizards finished this season devoid of desire.
On Wednesday night, the final act of Michael Jordan's flying circus did not simply come to a close. It crashed unceremoniously back to earth. Jordan took more shots than any of his teammates, and he missed more. And like his team, he looked lethargic and disinterested for most of the night.
It's tough to play a game when, you know, it's not quite as much emphasis on the game, other than to see how Michael Jordan ends his career.
Indeed, in the fourth quarter, with the Wizards down by more than 20, Jordan sat on the bench, ignoring the chants from the crowd and the pleas from his head coach to go back in the game.
When they started chanting, I said, Michael, these people want to see you. And he said, I'm stiff. And I said, I understand that, but, you know, this outpouring of love and affection is coming my direction here right now. So please, you got to help me.
Obviously, the game didn't merit me, you know, going back in and, you know, maintaining or finding my competitive juices. But obviously, you know, they wanted to see me make a couple baskets and then come off. And that was very, very respectful.
It's just a basketball city. They love basketball, and they love their sports, period. You know, but the greatest player in the world to come through here for his last game, I mean, I knew people would treat him like they did.
The fourth quarter ovation lasted more than 2 minutes, and it turned out to be the signature moment of an historic night.
Now, I guess it hits me that, you know, I'm not going to be in a uniform anymore. So, and that's not a terrible feeling. You know, I'm not. You know, I don't. It's not terrible. It's something that I've come to grips with, and it's time. You know, it's time.
Michael Jordan said that when he walked away from the game the first 2 times, his body just wasn't ready to quit. This time he said, it's easier to accept because physically I know it and I feel it. In Philadelphia, Sal Palantonio, ESPN.